Behind locked doors and frosted panes of reinforced glass, scientists worked in secret. Chimpanzees sat restrained under harsh white lights, their eyes no longer innocent or curious, but burning with something wrong. They called the experiment an inhibitor, a proposed window into biology of violence itself. To cure something, you must first understand it, one exhausted researcher repeated, to his colleagues, to the ethic board, perhaps most of all to himself. Then came the night that changed the world. 3 animal rights activists slipped past fences and security lights, driven by righteous anger and the belief that they were doing good. Their mission was simple: free the chimps, end the suffering. A noble goal, tragically misplaced. The first cage door clicked open. The chimp didn't thank them. It exploded forward in a blur of teeth and muscle, shrieking with a hatred that felt almost human. Its bite tore into one of the activists before any of them could react. She staggered back, convulsing, eyes flooding red like ink in water. And then, in almost an instant, she lunged at the others. Her screams twisted into snarls as she tore into her friends. What happened in that lab did not stay within its walls. It spilled into the hallways, through staff, into the streets. Across London like fire poured onto dry grass. 1 bite became 10. 10 became 100. Sirens wailed. Cameras shook. Journalists used the words like riot, unrest to describe the events. Anything except the truth. But denial couldn't slow infection. Weeks later, the rage virus consumed mainland Britain. Soldiers erected barricades, but the infected did not fear their bullets. They did not sleep. They only charged at the soldiers, screaming with a fury no human throat should ever produce. Those checkpoints collapsed in hours, the cities in days, in Britain in weeks. Families fled north, towards ports, towards whispers of rescue. Motorways became graveyards of abandoned cars. Airports became clogged with desperate crowds. A few did escape, however. Most never made it out. 15 days after the first bite, the world acted. NATO and the United Nations sealed the British Isles behind a wall of steel. Warships surrounded the coast. No plane flew in or out. Quarantine became abandonment. The broadcast warnings were clear: turn back or be sunk. By day 28, Britain was silent. Its streets ruled only by the infected or the dead. Survivors who remained lived like ghosts, scavenging the ruins of a world that had ended overnight. Beyond the water, life continued. Nations mourned, but they kept their distance. The virus that burned Britain could not cross oceans. Britain had fallen alone. When no fresh host to tear apart, the infection began to starve. Bodies collapsed in the streets like discarded puppets. Rage flickering out under gray skies. Satellites showed empty roads, rusted cars, unmoving shapes. The world exhaled. 28 weeks after Britain died, life finally returned to London. And that life was called District 1. District 1 contained fortified streets, guarded checkpoints, and soldiers on rooftops. Families could feel safe stepping off the ships with these soldiers around. Among the survivors was Alice Harris, though she did not come from overseas as a refugee. She had survived in the country. Don, her husband, had abandoned her weeks earlier, and now the reunion was tender. A stolen fragment of the world before. They kissed. However, that kiss ended the reunion. In seconds, Don changed. Spine rigid, eyes flooded red. He tore into Alice before she could scream. And afterwards, he ran. Through crowds, through shelters, through the heart of District 1, spreading infection with every touch. And chaos returned like a second plague to the island. The US military responded with terror and fire. Bombs lit the skyline where reconstruction once stood. Gas rolled through tunnels. Soldiers swept the streets now slick with blood. Amid the evacuation, a young boy slipped through, Andy Harris, immune like his mother, but a carrier as well. Trying to escape the island, the child went with his sister onto a helicopter piloted by a man named Flynn. The 3 survivors of the outbreak flew across the English Channel, believing they were leaving hell behind. Instead, they took it with them. Within 28 days, Paris burned. But this time the world was ready. Borders slammed shut. Fire and steel sealed infected districts before the virus could take root. Soldiers fought in gas masks and flame-proof suits. The outbreak was crushed in weeks. A decisive victory for mankind. Europe had survived, but the message was clear to everyone. Britain would remain a tomb forever. For 27 years, no flight passed overhead. No ship landed. Satellites watched the silent empire ruin. Life marched forward elsewhere. New governments, new technologies. While Britain remained frozen in time. A rusting wound no one dared to reopen. Isolation did not kill the rage virus, however. It changed it. Without endless hosts, the infected adapted. Some starved but lived on, shambling slow and hollow. Others remained brutal speed, still frenzied and lethal. And even darker things stalked these ruins. Alphas. Taller, stronger, sharper. Leaders of the fast and slow ones. Britain became a kingdom of monsters.